On the morning of March 24, 2015, passengers arrived at Barcelona El Prat Airport. They were boarding a routine short-haul flight to Germany. It was operated by Germanwings, a low-cost subsidiary of Lufthansa. Germanwings Flight 9525. Aircraft, Airbus A320-211, flight number, for U9525. Nothing seemed unusual. Families were traveling, students were returning home, business passengers were heading back to work. On board were 144 passengers, 6 crew members, including pilots, total 150 people. No one knew this flight would never arrive. Inside the cockpit were Captain Patrick Sondheimer, an experienced pilot with over 10,000 flight hours. Co-pilot, Andreas Lubitz, a 27-year-old German pilot, considered trained and qualified. Both were trusted professionals. The flight departed normally at 10:01 a.m., the captain later left the cockpit briefly, a standard procedure. What happened next changed aviation history. After the captain left, the cockpit door was locked from inside, the aircraft was placed into descent mode, no distress call was made. Air traffic controllers noticed something unusual. The aircraft was descending steadily without communication. They tried contacting the cockpit, no response. Inside the aircraft, passengers were unaware, crew could not access the cockpit, the aircraft continued toward the French Alps. The aircraft descended for over 10 minutes. It flew over mountainous terrain in southern France. There was no emergency transmission. At 10:41 a.m., the aircraft crashed into the Alps near Prades-Haute-Lyon, France, French Alps. All 150 people on board were killed instantly. Investigators from France's BEA, Air Accident Authority, recovered the cockpit voice recorder. What they discovered was deeply disturbing. The captain was locked out of the cockpit, he attempted to re-enter multiple times, the co-pilot remained silent, the aircraft was deliberately flown into terrain. The conclusion was clear, this was a deliberate act by the co-pilot. Not mechanical failure, not weather, not terrorism, a single human decision inside the cockpit. This is where the story becomes complex. Investigations revealed that Andreas Lubitz had a history of severe depression, medical treatment for psychological issues, documented episodes of anxiety and stress, temporary medical leave in training years earlier. More importantly, he had been declared unfit to work at times by doctors, but he feared losing his pilot career. Some medical information was not fully shared with his employer due to privacy laws. This created a dangerous gap. The system knew fragments, but no one had the full picture. After the crash, investigators asked a painful question. How did someone with known mental health issues still fly? The answer was not simple. It involved medical privacy laws in Germany, fear of career loss by pilots, lack of shared mental health reporting systems, pressure in aviation jobs to appear fit at all times. This was not just one failure, it was a system built on trust, but missing connection between critical information points. 150 lives were lost. Passengers included students, families, professionals, children, crew members just doing their job. Each person had a story, a family, a future, and all of it ended in one moment in the Alps. After the investigation, major changes were introduced. Two-person cockpit rule introduced in many airlines. A pilot should not be alone in cockpit. Stronger psychological screening for pilots. Improved support programs. Reduced stigma around reporting mental health issues. Better communication between doctors and aviation authorities, within legal limits. More structured monitoring systems. This tragedy is not only about aviation. It is about human psychology. It shows mental illness can be hidden. Suffering can exist behind professional performance. Systems can fail when people are afraid to speak. Silence can sometimes become dangerous. But it also shows something important: mental health is not just personal, it can become systemic when ignored. Germanwings Flight 9525 remains one of the most studied aviation tragedies in history. Not because of how it crashed, but because of why it was not prevented. A trained pilot, a normal flight, a hidden struggle, a system that did not fully connect the dots, and 150 lives lost in silence. Sometimes disasters do not begin in the sky. They begin quietly, in the human mind. And the most important safety system in any industry is understanding people before it becomes too late. In memory of the 150 innocent lives lost on Germanwings Flight 9525, and to the families who continue to live with this loss. This video is dedicated to their memory, and to every family forever changed by that day.